Adrian Wojnarowski, known to his millions of social media followers as Woj, made a name for himself as ESPN's NBA insider.
There are too many Woj bombs to count.
Breaking stories about basketball's biggest stars.
We bring in the one, the only, Woj.
But he made headlines himself last year when he decided to retire from his high-flying job.
He's the best in the business, make no mistake about it.
He is the best basketball reporter who ever was.
You still had time on your contract at ESPN for a lot of money. Why walk away from that?
I kept asking myself, why would you stay? And the best reason I could come up with was the money, and it wasn't a good enough reason for me.
You were diagnosed with cancer as well.
I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and we got it early, and I was fortunate, and I hopefully will be able, to manage it, but I wanted my family and my wife and I to be able to spend our time in ways that were really meaningful for us. I've enjoyed that challenge.
Woj took a new job, instead returning to his alma mater, St. Bonaventure University, as general manager of their basketball team.
Guys, we got Woj.
For Woj to come back, how big of a deal was that?
It was a mic drop moment. I joked that he was my first hire, and I could have walked away and retired and maybe had the most prominent hire in St. Bonaventure athletics history.
The job offered him $75,000 a year, far less than the $7.3 million he was making at ESPN.
You took a 99% pay cut to take this job. And a lot of people just would kind of scratch their heads at that.
He offered me more than actually I thought they'd be able to pay.
You would have done it for less?
I understand it's easy to look at what I gave up. I don't think about what I gave up. I think about what I gained here. So much of what's good that's happened to me in my life comes from my time here. I met my wife, Amy, here. That train moves really fast, and I just sort of pictured myself pulling that lever on the train and saying, this is my stop, and,
it makes you emotional. What about this place makes that so emotional?
It's a magical place. It's a magical place, and people care about each other here, and people stay incredibly connected to St. Bonaventure, and I think basketball for our university is a huge part of that.
With just around 2,000 undergraduate students, St. Bonaventure is the smallest school to ever make it to the NCAA Final Four, and basketball is central to its identity.
Everybody who's been around our conference knows you go on the road and Bonnie fans are everywhere. And so I feel a responsibility to try to help get the program through what's a difficult time.
Small schools like St. Bonaventure have been forced to adapt ever since student athletes began to accept payments through name, image, and likeness deals. And soon, universities will be able to pay those athletes directly, spelling the end of amateur sports for many college athletes.
With everything that's been happening with NIL and the way that college sports has transitioned in the last several years, were you worried that this school wouldn't survive that?
I worry every day about it.
Woj's new job is personal. The hours now have a purpose that hold a special meaning to him, keeping his beloved St. Bonaventure competitive, helping to secure the future of the school's athletic programs, selling young athletes on the magic of being a Bonnie, and trying to get their men's basketball program back to the big dance, March Madness.
Listen, I picture our coach and our players cutting down the nets in March. Like every other school does, and I still think we'll see those days again here.
Everyone loves the Cinderella. It's like one of our favorite parts of March Madness. You worried that's going to go away?
We're not going away at St. Bonaventure. I know there's a lot of like-minded schools, comparable schools to us, who feel the same way, and we can do it. And we've got to really work hard on what the pathway is. We're always fighting a little bit uphill based on our resources, but it doesn't feel like work. At some point, I'm going to go sit in a beach chair on a beach, but we have a lot of work.
Bridge program treats pregnant and postpartum patients with substance use disorder. Dr. Leah Habersham is the OBGYN and addiction specialist who runs it. She studies disparities in who hospital workers choose to test for substances.
When they were testing women and just picking and choosing who they would test, there was a lot of bias in that, and that they were oftentimes testing women because they were maybe a minority, Black, Hispanic, or of a certain socioeconomic class.
Are they allowed to test women without their knowledge?
Using a toxicology test or a drug test should not be done without a woman's consent.
What happens to the baby if Child Protective Services is called?
Oftentimes they are separated.
I imagine there are a lot of these providers, the doctors and nurses, they're doing what they think is best, right? They're coming at it with this idea of protecting the mom and the baby. They want to make sure the baby's okay. What would you say to them?
When I was just a generalist, I didn't know what to do if I got a positive test, you know? And I think it's very common that's the feeling of many physicians, because it's just not something that we're taught about.
After no charges have been filed, but police are investigating. We have spoken to the brother of one of the victims, who says he hopes this was just an accident, but he's waiting on police to find out exactly what happened. Piece was not working. Right here, you can see her fiddling with it. Carrie's reps say they told the stage manager about the problem, but it was not fixed. We asked at Clark Productions. They have no comment.
Hi guys, got quite the warm welcome. We love Coach Dom Staley. Now, Coach, I know you think you talk about me.
Star Wars fans loving the different takes of Andor and Ahsoka are eagerly awaiting more from the two series. Eva Pilgrim has been taking it all in at the Star Wars celebration in Japan, talking to the stars of the shows. So, how's it going, Eva?
Hey there, Janae. It has been an absolutely incredible weekend for all things Star Wars, and extra special because it's here in Japan, a place and culture that helped to inspire the whole thing.
Fun begins.
You might call it Revenge of the Sith.
There's not much that I can share, but Anakin will be back for season 2.
Anakin Skywalker himself, Hayden Christensen, turning the crowds to the dark side, revealing he will return for the next season of Ahsoka, starring Rosario Dawson. When you went to pick up the lightsaber again, were you immediately just like, old friend, you could do this again?
I kept a couple of the lightsabers from my prequel days, and every now and then I'd pick it up and give it a spin.
For fans, what do you think they'll be most surprised about in this season?
Well, there's not a lot I can share about
You
season
guys
2
never
yet.
can tell.
I know, we're very tight-lipped about this stuff. Because we want it to be a surprise for the fans when they watch it, but just the scope and scale of season 2 I think is going to be pretty epic.
Scope and scale.
Yeah.
Big?
Big. Yeah.
You guys are leaving from here to go start filming for season 2.
Yeah, we'll have 4 days actually when we hit the ground, so then start filming.
Reading the scripts that you've got, I know you can't give any secrets away.
Yeah, I also don't even have all the scripts, so I don't even know how it ends.
Is there anything that surprised you so far?
Zeb's gonna be on our show, which I was so excited about, and you know that Hayden's coming back.
Welcome to the rebellion.
From the anticipation of new storylines to the end of another journey, the cast of Andor emotional as they debut their final season.
We care because you care. Thank you so much.
Talk about why it's emotional.
It's emotional because it's been a very intense journey.
If it goes up in flames, it will burn.
We wanted to connect with this community that cares about what we're doing, because the story matters to us.
Denise, you're so wildly different, like opposite of your character.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Am I? I don't know.
Really? Yeah, sure. Right?
This is the best acting.
Yeah. Kyle, your character loves her.
They both share this obsessive, driven thing. I think in this season you actually start to see that maybe there is a heart underneath all of Cyril's armor.
What are they going to see from you this season?
It'll be an opportunity to see how I was born, where my character came from. and a little bit of who he was probably before he was the K2 that you know. And I'll just leave it there.
He has a journey of his own.
He's a journeyman. He's just a journeyman. I told you when I do this, you take over, didn't I? I did that, and what did you do? Nothing.
He left you.
He left you hanging.
I have to say that I just forgot about it completely.
It couldn't have been clearer. I totally
We were all doing it.
If he talks, he will give spoilers, and we don't want
Oh, you
audiences.
don't let him. This is your way of saying it.
Please save me because I'm about
Help me. Abort.
Okay, so we were very close to getting a spoiler, but we didn't get a spoiler. We did get an interesting tip, though. You have to remember that Andor is the prequel to the movie Rogue One, and Diego told us he thinks if people watch the second season of Andor and then immediately watch Rogue One, they will see it in a whole new light.
Okay. Wow, because Rogue One was one of those standalones for a while, so now we have all the information leading up to it. So, okay, all right. Sorry, Eva, I just had to get very nerdy on the Star Wars with you here. Yeah, get glasses. Thank you so much for your coverage
I got
of this.
that tip just for you.
Yes, you're the best. Thank you, Eva.